Well, it's February 14th, Valentine's Day. It's a holiday I can really do without. In fact, it ranks just above Christmas in the total holidays that I could I wish I could just abolish. Valentine's Day is a holiday designed specifically to exploit couples, but it has an unintended side effect of making single people like me feel as appreciated as chopped liver. I mean, we feel lonely and depressed, and we feel that this holiday just left us out in the dark because we haven't found somebody. And the reason why we haven't found somebody may be personal, it may be just sheer happenstance, but that doesn't feel any different from feeling unloved. And that's a feeling that nobody should have to go through. And also, I can't really get behind a holiday that that approves of public displays of affection, that encourages it. It celebrates a form of voyeurism in which everybody has to show how much they're in love with their significant other physically. They have this need to hold hands, to hold each other close, to whisper sweet nothings. It feels very, very juvenile. It feels it, it defeats the purpose that something as they claim is true love, and yet they specifically need a date on a calendar to celebrate it. Do you love do you love this girl more today and therefore you have to show it than, as compared to yesterday? Is will you not love her the same tomorrow just because it's not Valentine's Day? When you add that to the crass commercialism of the whole holiday where you see cupids, roses, heart-shaped candies, heart-shaped hearts, and couples everywhere, it just looks tacky. And for these couples, yes, we get it. You're happy and you're not alone. We don't need another reminder about how this holiday is treating us. Now, granted, I might be a bit of a biased source because I haven't exactly had the best of luck when it comes to relationships. But recently, the idea of romantic love, the idea of courtship, has started to, fill me, makes me a little sick. The idea of using romance to decide your mate has only been around since the High Middle Ages, 14th century. But during that time, you get stories of damsels in distress, you get stories of knights riding to their rescue. They share in true love's first kiss, love at first sight, and all that crap. But when you really look closely at those stories, you essentially get a rich man, a noble or a prince or a knight that doesn't have to fight tooth and nail for his survival. Therefore, he has time and he has the resources to go adventuring. He hears a rumor of a beautiful woman and then he uses his resources to ride out in the hopes that he might get laid. Essentially, that the beginnings of romantic love starts off as a guy driving out hoping to find a nice piece of ass. Not very romantic, isn't it? The idea it's not very romantic and I really wish I wasn't this cynical. Once upon a time, I used to be I didn't used to be this cynical. But I do understand that relationships will still bring about some happiness for people. Anthropologically speaking, this happiness has to exist because without without the happiness that results from these unions, without the dopamine and the oxytocin that comes from all this, people will not be happy with each other and they'll be okay with being wanderers and alone. And that's not and if that was to happen, the human race would just cease to exist. Sex has to be enjoyable. Otherwise otherwise nobody would do it and the birth rate would fall. People have to enjoy each other's company to stick around in order to protect the mate and to facilitate the rearing of their young. But the idea that all this symbolism um, can be written down and cut down to chemicals and hormones, it depresses me a little bit. But even if it's just chemicals and hormones, when you look at these couples engaging in their public displays of affection, you look at these couples when they're standing together, chemical or not, they are happy. And even if this happiness is transient, that it wouldn't exist 5 minutes from now, we can't tell the difference, and we still want it anyway. It's a base, it's a basic of the human condition that you want to be happy. But in order to be happy, you've put yourself in situations that you tend to get hurt. Personally, I never understood how you could start out as a functional human being, as a functional, complete whole of a human, and then after you meet this girl and she leaves you, there you feel less than complete. You feel like there's a hole in your soul. For the lack of a better word, there is now a deficit, a net deficit in your well-being as a person. And if true love is as powerful as they say it is, there should be no place for a deficit here. It brings me back to a story I heard once upon a time where I think it was Plato. He mentioned that he mentioned his theory was that human beings started out as creatures with four arms, four legs, and two faces. And when Zeus saw how powerful they were getting, he split them in half, and these people spent the rest of eternity searching for each other. It's a nice story, but if you were complete before, what is so mutually exclusive about this person? Especially since if that breakup did happen, she can't be the right one for you. And yet you still allow yourself to get hurt like this? Why? And why do we still keep bringing ourselves to lost causes where there is a propensity for being hurt? Especially for something as abstract and something as silly as concept as true love. If true love really is that powerful, if true love really is that positive, there should be no propensity for hurt. But anyway, back to St. Valentine's Day. We don't need reminders that we're alone. We don't need reminders that we haven't found anyone and that we're sad. So for there to be a specific day for that to remind you to treat your spouse well, to treat your other half well, it defeats the purpose of true love. Because if true love as a concept does exist, it should be apparent in every thought you have, in every action you do. That is real love and real intimacy. We don't need a mark on the calendar. We don't need an anniversary to mark that, because every day should be the anniversary. Every day should be Valentine's Day. So this is why I guess this is the reason why I can't stand Valentine's Day. So what am I doing later? I'm gonna be drinking my brains out, trying to convince myself that I'm not alone and that someday I could be one of those sick, icky, disgustingly gooey couples out there. But till then, cheers, I guess. I really, really, really hate Valentine's Day.